12 most hated places to live in Wales. There are surely two sides to every coin. When you see the passion with which some people admire and love their homes in Wales and name nice seaside towns, dockyards, communities, villages and hamlets in Wales, you will be left to wonder if there can ever be anywhere hated in Wales. Yet there are places in Wales that are also passionately derided, mocked and treated with utmost disdain. While doing our due diligence, we discover that some hated towns in Wales are not hated absolutely, not by all. In this video, we have compiled the list of the 12 most hated places to live in Wales. Please note that many of them are also among the worst towns in Wales. 12. Cwmbran. We're kickstarting this in Cwmbran, a town in the county borough of Torfaen. A lot of terrible things have been said about the residents and the by fellow residents and outsiders. However, the main reason we are mentioning this town is the safety concern. While it might not top in the overall crime rates, you have to look more closely to find up to 3 towns of its status with a higher crime rate in Wales. Thus, this town is hated not for environmental factors, but for human factors occasioned by the residents. 11. Colwyn Bay. Colwyn Bay, a town, community and seaside resort in Conwy County Borough on the northern coast, has expanded to the point of becoming the second largest community and business centre in the north of Wales and the 14th largest in the whole of Wales. Yet it has little or nothing to show for that economically. It's a drab and miserable place to live. Compounding its woes are its high crime rates. Its beach is dirty and hasn't shown anything for the efforts to make it better. The horrendous concrete building appears as if the last time it was maintained was 1970. At 10. Aberdare. We once argued against the notion that this is a town loved by criminals, yet we can't turn a blind eye to the high crime rate of this town in the Cynon Valley area of Rhondda Cynon Taf. As of the last check, it's the 3rd most dangerous small town in Mid Glamorgan. You just need to see what we've discovered about this town in our video about the 12 worst places to live. If it is conveniently and justifiably listed in that ranking, we all know that no one will love to live in one of the worst places. 9. Fairbourne. Fairbourne, a tiny village nestled between Snowdonia National Park and the Irish Sea, has been begging for a slot on this ranking. The place is currently facing an existential crisis, no thanks to the high risk of future flooding as a result of climate change. A while ago, Natural Resources Wales (NRW), the organisation in charge of flood management in Wales, spent £6.8 million on strengthening 2.9 kilometres of concrete tidal defences so that over 400 properties in the town can be protected from storm surges and flooding, and to complete other constructions. But we're not happy to let you know that the Gwynedd Council, in charge of this village, has said since 2014 that it couldn't maintain flood defences of the village indefinitely. By 2054 latest, the village will no longer be livable. Who would ever love to live in such a place? 8. Denbighshire. You might want to argue against the inclusion of Denbighshire on this list if you consider some of its towns like Llangollen, a community situated on the River Dee. However, when it comes to how good and convenient a place is for living, the entire county is generally hated, except for a pocket of towns there like Llangollen and Rhyl. Reviewers have not been generally kind to this county in the northeast of Wales. 7. Pontypool. If you've seen our video about the 12 worst places to live in Wales, you won't have a hard time understanding why Pontypool is among the most hated. This administrative centre of the county borough of Torfaen is hated because of its lack of privacy. Honestly, not many people like their lives to be in the public glare. Almost everyone in Pontypool is related to another somehow, and they know each other's business and financial worth. It's been alleged that there is a tendency towards some indecencies between families here. 6. Llantwit Major. Despite any good things anyone sees in this town, it is not a safe place to live. There is a lot of criminal inclination in the town. This has caused a hike in the rate of crime in the town. It is among the highest in the area and even in Wales. When you too want to rate the places put forward for you want to live, Llantwit Major will be among the most hated as you won't want to live in a crime-ridden place. 5. Pontypridd. This town and community in Rhondda Cynon Taf, 19 kilometres north of Cardiff, is hated because it has nothing so outstandingly great. Even if its rugby team is only struggling in the league, the town completely lacks a sense of community. The residents have nowhere to visit. It lacks nightlife, restaurants, bars and good music live performance. 4. Newport. Since Newport has been counted among the worst places to live in Wales, it's not likely to avoid being among the most hated places to live. The whole hatred around this town is woven around the perceived misdemeanour of the residents. They are alleged to be given to a lot of drugs and other vices. According to those reviewing the town, the citizens are said to be unwashed, uncouth and high on drugs or alcohol most of the time. 3. Merthyr Tydfil. We can only hope and remain optimistic that one day Merthyr Tydfil will be loved. A town recently identified as quite a deprived area should be among the most hated. We have to acknowledge efforts being made to up its employment. Still, the town is in the news more often for bad reasons. Tourists especially hate the town for its lack of its mountain biking and restaurants and bars. The unemployment rate, drugs and sleeping rough have not completely left the media space for this town. It is also a town of the aged, as the average population of the town is older than the national average. The town has a high level of uneducated residents with either no qualifications or ones equal to 1 or more GCSE grade D or below. The home ownership rate in this town is lower than the national average, indicating economic deprivation. 2. Port Talbot. What is it that makes the place hated? This town and community is in the county borough of Neath, and it is situated approximately 13 kilometres from Swansea on the east side of Swansea Bay. Conspicuously seen in this town is the Port Talbot Steelworks, which covers a large area of land. Dominating the southeast of the town, it is one of the biggest steelworks the world has ever known. However, it has been fingered as the reason the town is hated and has been under threat of closure for 4 decades. Maybe the environmental pollution is making living in the town depressing, but that's not the only reason. The residents are contributing in no small measure to making the town a dejected place. 1. Rhyl. We do not have so much to say about Rhyl, located in Denbighshire within the historic boundaries of Flintshire. This town on the northeast coast of Wales and at the mouth of the River Clwyd was once an elegant Victorian resort. Less than 35 years ago, it would be hard to imagine that the love and passion to visit this town that led to an influx of visitors and settlers from Liverpool and Manchester that began the Second World War could grow this cold and turn to the exact opposite of love. Today, the same expression of love has changed the town's face such that by 1990 it started declining. Efforts are now being made to rekindle the love for this town. Maybe that will get it out of the lists of the most hated places to live in Wales and the most hated town in Wales. But for now, it is among the most deprived places in Wales, according to the most recent indices of deprivation for the town. As you watch this video, what are your thoughts about these towns and their residents? We are more than eager to learn from your comments. Let's have them in the section below. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment and turn on the notification bell. This is Learning Canteen.